Another job of the special education teacher during the eligibility review process is to provide general education teachers with an observation survey and gather information from them on what they're seeing from SAM in their classroom and put those results together in um, the review summary. So that was completed. And then the last thing, so after all that's put together, so once the psychologist does or provides IQ testing and provides their classroom observation, it's the special education teacher's job to put all that together in a nice summary outline. So they have all the, the IQ testing, the Woodcock-Johnson or similar test, the assessments that they did, the classroom observation, the transition information, a summary of all the general education observations and information, put all that together and see if they qualify for special education and fill out the determination factor that we did last week, 2 weeks ago. So that was in there, and she qualified just like listed on her sheet. So that was really cool to see that done in action and things like that. So then the last thing that needs to be done by the special education teacher is to determine what accommodations and modifications does this student need to be successful in the classroom. And what was found for Sam would be good for her she would have a shared para in her general education classroom. She would be allowed to take tests in a quieter area and have them read to her if needed or requested. And she can get homework broken down into smaller segments or assignments for her. And she will be in the special education room for reading, math, and her study hall. So she can get some more individualized instruction for both reading and math at her ability level. And she will have a study hall in the special education room. So the teacher will be there along with the para to help her with those needs. So overall, doing this project, I learned a ton of information. It was really easy for me to learn a lot. I am not a current teacher. I don't have any teaching license. I've never seen an evaluation summary report before. So I enjoy doing this project, and I did learn a lot. One thing I learned, which isn't super surprising, but since I worked with a teacher in the high school, this was obviously a reevaluation, like I said earlier, but she was talking to me about how if she gets any new evaluations or new referrals, oftentimes kids in high school that get evaluated for the first time don't qualify for special education services. Makes sense, I guess. Their discrepancy between IQ and achievement is just not there, so they don't qualify. Some of those kids might qualify for a 504 plan. The teacher that I did works at GFW. It's a very smaller school. And I learned that special education teachers do not have anything to do with 504 plans. So I guess I just assumed that the special education teacher both does IEPs and 504 plans, just depending on the student that they're working with and what the student qualifies for. However, 504 plans are done by the guidance counselor, and due to the guidance counselor at this school having so many other responsibilities, they just don't have a lot of kids on 504 plans. And so what they do when kids don't qualify for special education, but they obviously have a need of some sort, is they often put those kids in a classroom that already has a shared para maybe, and that para maybe pays a little bit more attention to them, or they talk about that student and how they can help them at their monthly student review hearings. They have a meeting every month, the special education general ed teachers and the guidance counselor, to talk about at-risk students, so they can kind of come up with general things that might help them or everyone, kind of like a RTI program where, we're trying new instruction, and how are all the kids going to respond to interventions, including kids that aren't in special education or on an IEP. So I learned that. So that was pretty cool. I also got to meet a new teacher that I'd never met before. So now I have another resource and another place that I feel comfortable and someone to ask additional questions in the future. So that was a positive thing. And I also just learned how to read through an eligibility review summary report, what to look for, what things are important, how to come up with your modifications and accommodations according to certain testing that you've done. She was able to kind of explain to me some things that she looks for in the testing and review process to come up with the accommodations at the end. I also learned that the school psychologist has a lot to do with IEP testing. Like I said, this is all new to me, so it's great for me to jump in and learn as much as I can. So that part was interesting to me, and then just everyone else kind of comes together, and then as the special education teacher, you put it all together, make it one sound document, from start to finish, you work through it all, you come up with a plan, and then you implement it. So that's the goal. I think this assignment for me went smoothly. I learned a lot. I'll be able to use the information that I learned today doing this project in the future. And that's all I have for my eligibility review project.